Emily, and today I'm finally bringing you a book talk after reading like 20,000 books and never filming a book talk, but now I'm finally filming one. So for those of you who don't know, this book is about a girl named Emma, and she meets a boy named Galen, and Galen is a Sirena, which in their world means mermaid. So he is a mermaid, and they meet, and he knows something's off about Emma, like there's something different about her, she's not a normal human. So it turns out Emma has these weird gifts that only certain Sirena have. But Emma's not Sirena, or is she? They are trying to figure out in the book if she's Sirena, if she's human, if she's a mix, what is she, like, what is dominant in her nature. And yeah, that's the summary of the book. Now, on to my opinion, this book was terrible. It was so boring, and so, like, I don't know, I kept waiting for something to happen, and nothing ever happened. It was just, do you know how in trilogies or series, there's that one book that's like the bridge book? I mean, stuff happens, but it doesn't feel like anything's happening, like, there's the first book, and there's the third book, and then there's the second, like, bridge book. That's what this felt like, but this is the first book in a trilogy, and I will not be continuing on with the trilogy. I just found the characters really one-dimensional, and the story boring in general. The last 2 pages were the only thing good about this book. Like, usually, at least, if I don't like the book, I like a character. I didn't really like any characters in this either. So, yeah, that is all for the non-spoilery section, because otherwise I'm going to spoil it for you. But if you haven't read it, I'm going to ask you to leave unless you want to get spoiled. I don't really know why you would, but if you like mermaids, then maybe give it a try, but I've never liked mermaid books, so if you are like me and do not enjoy mermaid books, then I would skip this and pick something else up, like the Mortal Instruments, because they're the best books ever. Okay, bye for now, non-spoiler people, bye! Okay, so let's talk about this book. I personally very enjoyed immensely Chloe's character. And she died in chapter 2, getting eaten by a shark. Now, usually books that start out, like, right out of the gate, they're pretty good. They're fairly good. And these were not good. No, not good. And it's very upsetting because I was very excited to read this book because a lot of people said so many good things about it. So I finally bought it and I was like, I'm going to read this. And no. I had to force myself to finish it just because I wanted to get it over with. I just wanted to be like, okay, I read it, I can move on now. Kind of blends in with the background a little bit. Look at that. My sister probably wants to read this more than I did, and she's 7. Because it's about mermaids. She wants to read about mermaids. I don't like mermaids. But I was very upset when Chloe died. Like, right out of the gate, shark attack, shark eaten, person gone. Galen and Emma decide that it's time. Like, we gotta figure out what's going on with Emma. So let's pretend that we're dating. That way we can spend time together and no one will ask questions. Okay, that's possible. That's a good idea. It's a smart idea. So they go home and Emma introduces her mom to Galen. And her mom is so paranoid. I'm like, were you kidnapped as a child? Why are you so paranoid about this? And she asks for Galen's license and his license plate number. And I turned to my mom, who's sitting next to me reading a different book. I'm like, Mom, you are never to do this. It is weird. It is very unsettling that you're like, I can stalk you now if anything happens to my daughter. Like, it's weird. And then at one point, he goes swimming to go visit his brother in, like, the North Pole or something. In the North Pole. In the North Pole. Really? You done yet? Okay. So he goes to visit his brother in the North Pole for some odd reason, and the way he explains it reminds me of Nemo. I'm sorry, but it does. He explains like the bombs. Do you remember that scene in Nemo with the sharks? And they live in that like whole area in the submarine, and there's like all these bombs, and if you touch one, they explode. That's how I imagined it. I was like, touch it, add some fire to this story. That's what I thought about. Okay, so then we learn about the archivists in the archives, and what helped me get through that was I imagined them as the Silent Brothers and the City of Bones from the Mortal Instruments series. The archivists were the Silent Brothers, and the whole tomb thing was City of Bones. And I was like, okay, that makes me feel better. That makes me feel better, because then I just thought about the Mortal Instruments. And we all know by now how much I love the Mortal Instruments. So I think I mention it in every video. Probably not, but kind of. I love that series. If you haven't read the Mortal Instruments, go read it. Read it. Don't read this. Go read that. Okay, what did we think of Raina and Emma's relationship? First of all, I thought Raina was kind of a crybaby bitch. A little bit. Because she just goes on and on about how she doesn't like Torov. And yeah, it was a pretty creepy, messed up move to go behind her back and ask her brother for the marriage, and the brother like finalizes it and whatever, they don't even ask her. And I like how Emma was like, oh, you can come live with me. They're like, where's she gonna go? She has to go with him. And she's like, no, she can live with me. It's fine. It's fine. After Emma threw her out a window. Because it was bad. So I didn't like Raina's character in the beginning. She got a little bit better, but I just didn't really enjoy her at all. Because think about it. She went on and on about how she hated Torov, she doesn't want the marriage. She was actually on her way to annul the marriage. Ask her brother, like, to get rid of it. And so they decide to make her jealous. And Torov kisses Emma, and then Raina blames Emma. It's not Emma's fault, okay? Because you just said how much you hate him. So it's not, you have no right to be angry. And I was just so pissed off at her. I was like, you have no right to be angry at all. And she's pissed off at her. And then she blames her for Chloe's death. I'm like, that's not, well, it kind of was her fault, but not really. The shark was attracted to her. Just whatever. And then Galen doesn't go and save her. That pissed me off. In the beginning, when Galen was like there, he saw the whole attack, but he was just like standing there watching Emma. I was like, really? Are you kidding me? This girl is dying, and you don't even try to step in and stop it. So then we finally get a Galen and Emma kiss, a Gemma kiss. Gemma? Really? Okay. So I shipped them, but it's one of those ships where you don't really care what happens. It's just kind of like, oh, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, I don't really care, because I didn't care about the characters. So we finally get a kiss, and that kiss leads to Emma finding out that they think she should be married to his brother. They think she's Nalia or whatever. So they told her after they kissed, and after she realized her feelings for Galen, it was like, oh wait, you're supposed to marry my brother. It's like, wait, what? Because throughout the whole book, she talked about how much she didn't want to like deal with that, and she had to deal with it. Like, she was like, I want to make my own decisions, no one can make me do anything. And then, oh wait, you have to marry my brother after I just made out with you. At one point in the story, they say all the myths are true, and I just went, Mortal Instruments, all the stories are true. It was like, wait, I love it. That was probably my favorite line in the whole book, because it was a line from a different book. As I said, last two pages were the saving grace of this book, not really, but kind of, when we find out that the mother is Nalia. It's like, yes, finally, something happened. Oh my god, I was so done with this book. And I was like, you have a lot of explaining to do, Nalia. And then it ends, and so many people will be like, oh my god, tell me more, she's Nalia. I'm just like, she's Nalia. Okay, she's Nalia. Obviously, she wasn't in that happy of a marriage as you all thought she was, because she left, married someone else, and had a kid with him. faked her death, basically. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on the story. Let me know if you guys have read it, what you thought. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? What was your favorite part? Let me know. Bye, guys.